getting a big up before I come on stage, because especially when you go on last as well. I'm glad no one used the word headline, because I'm not. It's just like, you kind of see the people in the crowd, they're looking at you going, oh, I've had an amazing night, but be better. So, I don't do well under pressure, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, my name's Dickie, as you might have heard, and it's not my real name. Obviously, my real name's Richard, but I don't really like to use that because it's a boring name. It's horrible. I feel paranoid when I introduce myself as Richard. It's just like, hi, my name's Richard. Please don't fall asleep. I do have some input, and you've gone. Brilliant. But no, I get Dickie, which is a lot better. But the thing is, I'm paranoid about everything, so I'm very aware of the fact that Dickie, which is spelled D-I-C-K-I-E, 4 out of the 6 letters spell the word dick, essentially making my name 66% penis. Which is, it's not a percentage you want. Well, when it comes to a name, obviously. I mean, if you talk about body mass ratio, then 66% penis, I could live with that, yeah. Ladies, my name's Dickie, but before you fall asleep, allow me to show you 66% of my body. Dinner sometime? No, I thought maybe I should change my name, something like quite sexy, something dynamic, but I just wouldn't have a clue what would be sexy and dynamic. So look at this, fuck's sake. But I thought at least I don't have a ridiculous name. It's a trend now that, kids are getting named after produce. And I think that's, we're only like 2 or 3 years away from kids called Parmesan and fucking pesto or something ridiculous. You know what I mean? So I just feel sorry for the teachers, to be honest, in years to come when they're teaching a class. You could get halfway down calling a register before you realise you've actually read your shopping list out, and they'd just be like, aubergine, not in today, femme fresh. Oh, well, this is a little bit embarrassing. Let's move on. Let's get the actual register now. Caniston, EMS? No, I actually used to know a guy called Caniston, true story. But it wasn't his real name, we just called him that because he was an irritating cunt. But, do you know who's worse though when it comes to names? Doctors. Don't worry, I see some of you going, yeah, I don't get it. But no, this comedy will ensue, don't worry. But, well, hopefully. Yeah, if it doesn't, it's your fault. So, but no, doctors, when doctors, they discover an illness, and then they name it after themselves, in some sort of deluded sense that future generations of their family are going to bask in this reflective glory of their ancestors' discovery. But it doesn't really work like that, though, does it? No. Do you really think Felicity Chlamydia is impressed with what her grandfather discovered? Not really at all. No, but it does have its pros and cons as well, especially for Felicity, because she was able to make a bond with her current partner that she wouldn't have done normally, and her and Colin Gonorrhea are going from strength to strength, which is fantastic. They married, which is brilliant. Marriage is a beautiful thing. The only trouble is, though, she's one of those modern day girls, the type that she won't take her husband's name, it's got to be double-barreled. So, I mean, it works for them, but it's their daughter I feel sorry for. Poor little Satsuma Chlamydia Gonorrhea is having a nightmare time at school. But she gets by, she's a little trooper, which is brilliant. I won't lie anymore, I made that up, by the way. So I do that a lot, I not just on stage, but like in life. My mind goes off on too many tangents and I just forget what's real half the time. I like to think of it as, imagine if your mind is like a whiteboard, and on the whiteboard throughout the day you just kind of like write down interesting thoughts that you've had that you can inject into conversations later to make yourself look intelligent. Whereas my whiteboard doesn't really look like that. My whiteboard looks like I've allowed a kid with ADHD to load up on speed and go crazy with felt tip pens. He's like, I love colour, purple, green, love them. But I will tell you a true story, because you look like the type of crowd that really can handle the truth. And I don't say that to everybody. A lot of crowds can't handle the truth. But I don't know if anyone, you don't have to admit this, but if anyone's in here has ever had to confess their sexuality to their parents, it's a really hard thing to do. I had to confess my sexuality to my dad, which was like one of the, it was really hard to do. I didn't know when the right time was. Essentially, I didn't think I'd ever have to do it, being that I'm straight. But don't worry, I'll give you some background once again. No, essentially what happened was I went to university, and then when I came back, I was just catching up with my brother, who for the purposes of this conversation we'll call cunt. So I said to him, Jade, so cunt, what have you been doing whilst I've been at university? And he was like, oh well, played some computer games, went out the pub, convinced Dad you were gay, played some more computer games. Sorry, go back to that. What was that? Play the computer game. No, the other one. What was it? I convinced Dad you were gay. Why would you do that? I was bored of computer games. No, you can't. So I was really worried. I said, oh shit, my dad thinks I was gay. So the first thing I had, the first thought I had was I'll give him a call and I'll just say, Dad, I'm not gay, by the way. But then I started to analyse that and I thought, well, if, you know, what'll happen there is if I get all defensive and call him up, my dad's going to think, well, maybe I am gay. And maybe I'm not comfortable letting him know just yet, and I'm not ready for that. And then for the rest of my life, he's going to think I'm gay. And every time I try and deny it, he's just going to think I'm not comfortable with myself. And he might think that, you know, our relationship's not good enough for me to talk to him, and he'll get depressed. And for a while, I thought, well, maybe I should be gay. Maybe that'll be the easiest thing to do. You know what I mean? I don't want to upset my dad, and I don't want to have to be like, well, look, Dad, I'm straight, and then he's embarrassed. So I thought, well, but no, I can't do that. I've got to be true to myself. I've got to be true to who I am. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll approach it by, we'll go out for a drink, and then I'll slip heterosexual thoughts about, not that way, no, I mean, like, I'll slip the idea into his mind that I'm a heterosexual man, and do it, like I say, do it subliminally, like I'll come out like a thought ninja, and inject it that way. So we arranged to go for a drink, and then it was about 2 minutes into this drink that I realised, I'm actually not that clever to be able to do that, and I also don't work really well under pressure situations. I can't think in pressure situations. In situations where I'm under pressure, regardless of how much pressure it is, it's as if the guy inside my head that's in charge of my logical thought is surrounded in some sort of soundproof booth. You know what I mean? Almost like The Cube, but without the microphones. It's just like, so like essentially, the booth comes down. I'll give you an example. This isn't even a really high pressure situation, but me and my friends play a game, do you know the game Word Association? It's like you name something and then you have to say, the other person has to say something that's associated with it. We thought it'd be interesting, because we're not that clever, to play Word Disassociation, where you name one thing and then you name something completely detached from that. There's no link at all. Now you look at it and go, well, that's easy, yeah, until the booth comes down and that guy with the logic is surrounded. I can't do it. You know, someone will just come to us, they'll say, oh, pencil. I'm like, anything other than pencil. Anything. The guy in the booth's going fucking mental. He's just like, yeah, fucking nuclear fission, fucking Great Wall of China, Barry from EastEnders. And I'm going, yeah, all viable answers, but I can't hear you, can I? Because I just can't, so, and like I'll just be there, like, pencil, paper, oh, for fuck's sake. And that's just playing the game. I've got to convince my dad and have him, that my sexuality in the eyes of my dad depends on this one conversation we have. And if he rumbles me and sees that I'm trying to defend it, he's going to think I'm gay for the rest of my life. And I'm thinking, oh God, this is too much pressure. I can't deal with him thinking that, because my dad's so fucking supportive as well. I know all that'll happen is we'll go out on nights out, and he'll be like, what about that fella? You fun to hear that? Fun to hear? You want to bum him? You want to know, Dad? I don't want to bum. Just accept it, son. Just accept it. There's nothing wrong with it. Are you shy? I'll have a word with them. No, Dad, don't. So all this is going through my mind. I'm thinking the rest of my life and the relationship with my dad relies upon my ability to handle this situation well. So I'm thinking, right, think heterosexual thoughts, think heterosexual thoughts. My dad will go, well, do you want a drink, son? I think that'll be brilliant, thanks. He'll say, do you want a red wine as normal? And that'll be, no, thanks drink. I'll have a bitter. Yeah, but make it extra bitter by putting paracetamol in it, yeah. Let's get drunk and beat up women. Not because I hate them, I love them too much, that's the trouble. And then, it got worse. He's like, is there something on your mind, son? Oh yeah, boobs, all the time. I love them. What about boobs, son? Well, just, everything about boobs. I mean, you get 2 for 1, all the time. I love, each boob's got 2 parts. You've got the main fleshy bit, and the nipple. I think the bit around the nipple, medically it's called the areola. So I didn't think that conversation went well, to be honest. I think my dad still thinks I'm gay. Well, actually, I know it didn't go well, because the logical guy is now out of his booth, and he had a word with me. He's like, have a sit down. How do you think that went? Not very good. Which bit in particular? With the bit about the boobs. See, you can make clever thoughts, can't you? You sit there, play with your fucking crayons, I'll sort your shit out as usual. And secondly, paper! You're making us both look like idiots! Anyway, I'm Dickie Gardner, thanks very much.